All right. Can everybody hear me? You want to make note of that right there? All right. Can everybody hear me? Please and thank you. Hopefully it's more clear today, or this afternoon. All right. Perfect. So, watching this right now, ES made this lower high right there. Way more clear so far. All right, perfect. So, I'm watching these. Doesn't have to get there. I'm just noting it. I'm actually watching up here. 118 to be exact. But that right there, the ghost is here. Hello. Oh. Check yes again. All right. Well, please read the disclaimer in the description. Trading involves significant financial risk and is not suitable for everyone. So any trades I put on, you're at your own risk is what I'm saying. Please understand that. 2 rejections, buy side notable. Yeah, you can note it. Alright, so I'm not getting any movement now, so that's why I was watching this reclaimed itself in the macro, so I was watching this at the gym. I like that it comes here, rejects lower, but uses it to tell you, hey, I may use you at a later date. So, or I'm in a later time, sorry. Yeah. Also, above this is the true buy side, the true equal highs. So that is very possible to make it there. Sometimes you got to understand that this efficiency being left open, and if we note it, yeah, it's already came back down here, so it doesn't need to come back, but I'm not fully I asked that question earlier in terms of where do you think we're going, because as soon as, what is this 1250 macro opened, we trade above this inefficiency and go higher. So that says, okay, maybe in the macro, we use it as support here and then continue to trade higher. So that's what kind of makes me know, okay, well, how high can we go? That's why I asked that question, because as soon as 13 or 130 opens, I don't automatically short. That doesn't make any sense to me unless we had reached a buy side prior. So the only buy side that was actually truly met was here. This right here. That was the equal liquidity that was met precisely here during the macro. So yeah, I mean, we can come back under here, use this or this as lowered. I mean, if you recall what I said in the Telegram chat, engineered sell side liquidity will get generated in a discount. Buy side liquidity will get generated in a premium. All you need to know is what you're looking at after that. If you can get that simple concept down, you will stop shorting here and start longing instead. I told somebody this earlier, an individual I was helping. I said, you need to start buying a little bit sooner when it's scary to buy, because that's when everybody is selling, right? It's mostly psychological if you think about it. But this is exactly how the markets operate in terms of messing with people's emotions. That is something I used to get tripped up about a lot, like heavily. So I try to think, that's why I say, you know, what's going to do the worst damage before we actually make the move? Like, a lot of people probably shorted this first presentation. Guarantee it. They shorted this first presentation because it went lower. And they're like, like I've said, there are ICT suckers as well. If you don't know what you're looking at, if you don't understand how these first presentations, I don't need these first presentations, but if you understand how they operate the same way the new day opening gaps work, or the new week opening gaps. You'll see a new day or new week opening gap. We'll trade under it on purpose. We'll just collect orders under there, or whatever, buying pressure, selling pressure, whatever you want to call it. And we'll trade back above it and then use it as support to go higher, right? So it's the same thing here. It's the same thing everywhere. Look at this. Price trades lower. How many people shorted that this morning? Because the market ran lower. I wasn't looking lower. Where was I looking? Right there. Market hadn't gone below that since then. And then it comes here. Trades above it. So you got to understand these things. So the macros ended, but you know, we have the quote-unquote silver bullet for the 14-hour. Definitely a lot of ICT suckers. The TikTok and Finex people, new retail, need to take this serious to know what's going on. That is correct. I 100% agree. If you don't take this serious, this is why I don't want to help kids. I don't want to help people that just seek overnight millionaire status, whatever. I have no desire for that. Like, if you saw my tweet earlier about the inverse fair value gap indicator, you do not need, I'm not even going to curse, but you do not need an indicator to tell you where an inverse fair value gap is. Like, that just blows my mind. Like, these people, the people that actually have any kind of sense at what they're actually looking at are not offering indicators or BS. They're offering you real value. And it's the ones, and that's what I love. I don't care to be big. I truly don't. I only started this channel, I only started my Telegram because of people out there that were selling bullshit. And I can't stand it. And that's why I come on here, or I'll be in my Telegram, I'll tell you where price is going, and I'll call it, because you can't deny that. And it's if I take a loss here, if I just go in and short and I take a loss, that is a embarrassment to me. I don't want to be wrong in front of people. I don't care if it's 11 people or 1100 people, because you can go right back and watch this video. Anyways, I'm passionate. I got lots of screen time. I've discovered some things, been through some things. I've been through every strategy out there from, I think I've been in the markets now 5 or 6 years. I got asked that question earlier. I had to think about it. I want to try options again. That's kind of fun. I didn't know what I was looking at back then, but, you could actually catch, if you're sitting down here and you got this right here, and you know that there's SMT at the lows with liquidity, with true liquidity, but NQ is reaching an inefficiency, that's all the way from May 12th. You could buy outdated options here to go long on, and you can sell them up here, at least at the inefficiency. That's well over 300 points. I don't know how many that would be on ES, but you can do the math. I used to trade SPX options, so that was fun. Especially on the last hour. But anyways, I just love futures because I got into futures primarily because there's no time value. There's no contract value on it in terms of time, so I can hold a position as long as I want, and it won't dwindle down regardless. But I'm also not in the market to hold 300 points. I don't really care for that. I spend a lot of time on the screen so that I can spend less time in the future on screens. I could have been done right here today, and I don't care. I could have pushed the button. It doesn't make a difference to me. If I push the button, I have the intention of I'm winning. And I'm going here. I'm taking my liquidity right here. Where's the minor buy side? Sorry, there. That's enough for me. 3 points of entry I noted earlier. I don't need a lot because I know how much I used to make at my old job. When you put it in that perspective, it's weird because you can simply trade this and get, $300 within a few minutes, but you're willing to go work 2 or 3 days straight to get that much. And there's people all over the world that I've spoken with that have joined my Telegram from other parts of the country that don't have as many resources as you guys do or some others, and it blows my mind that you take advantage of that. And that's something I had to do too, because I started losing the value of what money was, and especially in the prop space, that was something that I struggled with a lot. Like I just don't like being, and that's why I went back to my personal account, because the rules kind of messed with my mind. And then you see people on social media getting these big payouts and all that. Like, I don't want to do all of that. Take your low-hanging fruit. Stop spending money on resets and whatever else it is, or monthly combines or whatever, and get your low-hanging fruit. And personally, I would buy, nowadays they have the option of straight to funded. I'd buy that. I'd save my money, buy straight to funded, and just do the measly $200 or $300 a day and go on about your day. And just do that every single day. I will always teach the low-hanging fruit first. So, anyways, sorry for the rant. So what am I watching? So if you think about the terms of structure, where's the low that made the high? Obviously, everyone, yeah, we're ICT kids. We can handle rent. Yeah, I didn't, at first, I quit listening to ICT, like the spaces and whatnot, because I found them to be boring and not insightful. And then I grew up, and then you start to realize, oh man, And then he tucks little nuggets in there on purpose because he wants to get rid of people like I used to be, lazy. And that's why I don't want to help lazy people. I never will. I don't care, because I understand how much time this has taken, how much effort, how much I've lost money, I've made money, and I quit talking about money, because as soon as you go to making money and you start telling people what you're doing, it just disappears. I don't know how, but and if you've been there, you probably know that. So I don't tell anybody. I do this in my own time, and I know it's a skill set that can pay off, so there you go. So at 268, I'm at 068 level I mentioned earlier. I'm just kind of watching here. It's part of something. It's why we're consolidating here. It doesn't have to get here. I was primarily looking at this level here. So they both made higher highs there. So I'll watch it when it gets here. Not really, I don't know, for some reason it's throwing me off a little bit. I got too much on my chart. Sometimes if you just clear your charts completely and just get a fresh reset, oh, it just clears up so much. It really does. How about we just focus on that? Notice how I haven't pushed any buttons yet? There's nothing to do here. It's reached here. If this was still available, I was hoping to see that hold, get it back above here, there, and then go here. I didn't see that. So of course your longs are your best longs are here, obviously. But back to the first presentation. I want to see what it does when it gets here. Guys, I always, let's see, where's this at? Regardless of what happens in the markets, this is what I focus on. If the manipulation macro trades higher, always anticipate lower. Always. Your odds of taking that lower will be a lot better than if you tried to trade higher, because price is already at a higher premium, right? Manipulation macro. It's not that hard. That is the regular time hour 4-hour candle that I'm watching. Look at that. Price only goes two places: inefficiency or liquidity. When you understand that concept, everything else in between just becomes nonsense. I don't see the candles for what they are. I don't want my chart to look like Dave's. Anyways, here you go. I just try to show you. I literally just see dark pools for price, magnets. If it closes above, I'll note that. If it gets below here, you want to watch it, and then it can go here. lots of respect there. So remember, the wicks do the damage. So all right, so we closed below that midpoint of that. Something I'm watching. What is it? Yeah, it's 120. These set of equal lows are what catches my eye to begin with. And this is going to be your first point of interest here. Where is it at? Yeah, just that simple low. This right here tells me that it does not need to go back up here likely. It can, but I'm watching it. I'd prefer to see it. I would have preferred to see it close back above, then come here before going here. But this is likely to stay a breakaway. Anyways, it's closed below, so it knows. So we're going to see. I want to see if it trades back up here. Because it's still holding this. That's got to get below that too. That's just as important. I want to see something. Well, what do we have here? What did everybody think about the AM session? Oh, I missed that. I don't know how I missed that. Let's see. Slow, yeah. Watch this inversion here. Sorry, let me mark it just in case if it does go up there. Looks like prime sells. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Back into the first presentation. First, engineered, yep. Tradable from 9 to 10, then slot till 12. Yeah, it's been like that. I mean, this whole week has just been... I mean, pre-market sessions were a lot better. And that I chose the 1 week to not trade pre-market sessions. So... anyways, I haven't pushed a button yet. I'm watching that inversion up there. See what it does. If it gets there. Gotta be careful. Shorted that breaker. Yeah. As you can tell, I'm very precise about my entries. I'm keen on what I pick and choose because I just make note of things and I watch. This right here, I'm watching that because that's still pretty important to me. That says, okay, there's a chance that we can definitely get back above, but it may not want to go to sell side yet. You gotta be careful. I look at specific things and it can go down, but I'm just watching it. I'll take 2 trades today, so I'll attempt to take 2 anyways. I'm just not really liking anything I'm looking at now. Guys, if you could give this a thumbs up as well, that'd be helpful. I'm trying to read some chats in between as well. Let me see. Just saw this and remembered your post. Jorge, he sent me one of the guys in there sent me something about that inversion fair value gap indicator. It's kind of had me laughing. Thanks for the likes, by the way. So respecting the midpoint here, I'm seeing that. Don't worry, I'm watching. The close above here allows it to go back to a premium inefficiency before going lower. Alright, let's see here. What time is it? Okay, it's 1:30 now, so I gotta watch that. Gotta watch the time. So essentially 2:30 is like 10:30 if you think about it. Same concept. Alright. It's here. Anyways, just keep that on your list. Still watching this. You see that respect there? Gotta be watching. Got to know these things. That's why I'm not short yet. God, can we get back up there? Does the script say we can get back up there? Look at that, still respecting this. Doesn't it feel good to not push the button though? Like genuinely. Where you don't need to, feel the need to. Sometimes just waiting it out. You know, we may get chop until the last hour, and I have no intentions of waiting until here. Oh my goodness. I mean, how many more? That's a whole nother hour and 20 minutes. Goodness. So watch the respect now to the upper half of that PM session. Fair value gap. So why am I not keen on taking a short? simply because there's no SMT here. This level got closed above, this level got closed above, this held, this came back and held here. So right now that just kind of tells me we're in between things and we need more intel to take a trade. Guys, I've seriously upped my patience on taking any trades. I literally wait for specific things. If you don't believe that, well, that's on you. I don't care. Look how many people wanted lower to start 1330 and probably got blown out. SMT 735. Yeah, I see that. But don't forget about this buy side up here. That's what I'm watching. See how off of this inefficiency we got a fair value gap? I'm almost tempted to long this up higher, at least to here, and then that's what I prefer to see. I'm gonna hold tight. I don't have any interest right now. Might have to wait till the next macro. Typically the last macro engineers liquidity also. I've noticed this a lot. It engineers liquidity for the last hour. It does go and take out liquidity, but that 15 to 45 time is what, sometimes that tricks me up a little bit. That's why I only watch the last hour macro and what happens there. If you think about it, you can make everything a macro. I need people to fall asleep first. I need to bore them out before taking a trade. Yeah, when you get a chop between an important, say for example, first presentation and an inefficiency, it's a waiting game. Waiting game. No, seriously though, imagine I was short right now. I've got my stop up here. That's probably where most people have their stop, is up here. Because they see all this down movement and they get in. That's why I think it'll get blown out. I'm telling you, they will do more damage to retail or whoever you are before they allow it to go down like that. Literally. So in the meantime, what other questions? And if you're short, you probably got blown out right here. Okay. Oh, we lost somebody. It's time to take a position. $57 subscribers. I need 57,000 so we can show the world how to be patient. I think patience is all you really need in trading. I mean, yeah, these small ranges of movement are brutal. It's because no liquidity was taken other than this, but the fact that we closed above it, didn't turtle soup it or get SMT is what allows for these things to happen. Now, don't forget about this. Don't forget it. I didn't. Now if we get displacement from here back under, that's probably, in my opinion, more prime for a short than anything else. So we respected the midpoint of this. Fins Intel says I feel higher for Max Payne. Is that you, Nigel? Nigel's long down here. Yes. Yeah. So I'll watch a few things, but anyways. Well, thanks for tuning in, Nigel. Seriously. This is I'm thinking more Max Payne as well. I don't know if that comes at the last hour macro or because we're back here now, but price is choppy because you have these 3 important details. So we're just gonna go in. Well, actually, you can consider it 4 because of this one too. This is the only reason I didn't short earlier. This right here. And then that was more, I need more intel first. I'm with you on the blowing out more, but I was looking for a blowout move here to trade lower there, but right back to that midpoint there. Golly, I mean, this literally just chops people out. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's not appealing price action at all. And then don't forget that Monday is a holiday, so who knows. But I will try my best to push a button in front of you guys before this stream ends. And if we lose, we'll go for another one. Always assume you're going to lose. I always tell people that. It's literally in your best interest. Step back away from the chart. So we're coming up on 140 now. Yeah, I don't even want to wait for the macro, but goodness. Close below here. I may have to short this to the low-hanging fruit. Oh. Still. Oh. It's probably going to drop a big candle right here. May I ask, are you in the U.S.? Yep, I'm in the U.S. I live in Texas, actually. Forgotten Trader. Yep. Let's see here. What do we have better price action on here? Oh my goodness. Let's see. Where's the first presentation? That's chopped too. Oh. I don't want to push the button to push the button. I mean, get a little... I'm human. I literally am human myself, so... It gets tricky, but right now we're just in between ranges, so... It's really hard to just go in there and push anything, but... Now we're closed back above after... I meant below after reaching this premium inefficiency, but... We're not closing back below. Where are some of you guys from? I know that Fins and Tails is from Singapore. There's nothing here right now, by the way. Southwest Florida, yeah, Nashville, Tennessee. Oh, that's awesome. My mom was born there, so I've been to Tennessee a few times. Daniel's from California. That's cool. Missouri, yeah. Anybody in Texas? No. Yeah. Wow, it's like watching paint dry. Alright, well, in that case, let's scale up and look a little bit here. So you can draw your fib from here to here. Let's see, actually, hang on. Let's look at the hourly. Charter member who wants to start sharing more. Well, come on out and share it. I refuse to share some of the information I'm aware of. I have no desire to share it to the world. Because a lot of people are undeserving and they're lazy. I mean, I'm kind of curious, if you are a charter member, like what kind of separates that from people that aren't charter members and that have access to the free YouTube videos? Like what in terms of the content was different from what's out there? Because a lot of people, truthfully, a lot of people do not have to waste their time watching all of the content, and they don't need to learn everything or every aspect or every 81 of the PD arrays. They literally just need to understand one thing and master it. That's it. If you want to master the first presentations, you can do that. If you want to master liquidity, true liquidity, you can do that. If you want to master inefficiency, you can do that. But for me, we used to get some exclusive stuff. All that is gone due to bad. Oh yeah, there's a few people that leaked it, but I mean, truthfully, if you just watch ICT today, you can learn simply a lot. But for me, I personally just wanted to learn more about it. So I wanted to learn more in depth on what actually exclude these candlesticks alone. I want to see what's going on behind there. What is happening? Why does price stop at certain areas, or why does it hold specific levels? Or, I mean, even what I was talking about, and you see how it respects that? Comes here, goes there. That is what kind of blew my mind. And then you got a specific PD array here. Math. It's a little math and science. Yeah, it can be. You don't need a chart to trade, to be honest. Your odds, I'm not going to speak on why you don't need a chart to trade, but you could do some math. But aside from math and science, you still don't need a chart to trade. If you understand where price is and what time it is. I truly believe that. So, anyways, we're watching here. I'm kind of getting carried away. As soon as it closed below, it starts pushing lower. I'm going to watch this now. What are we in? 145. So the only thing that ICT will never teach you is when the trade will get there. But he's given enough information that if you look deep enough, you will discover some things. He's running a clinic every day, yet people try to focus on old. Yeah, exactly. People are still focused on what was going on back in his baby pip days, but he's stated that that was when he was figuring out a lot of this too. So these people think there are secret macros and all this nonsense, and I don't subscribe to that. I subscribe to what's in front of me. So we got a alert here, so we may take a trade on ES. Oh, that was perfect. Look, these are equal highs, but I think we're gonna I wanted that. I'm gonna wait for the macro. Sorry, I got a little carried away. Wow. You ever notice those volume imbalances, why price never goes back into that fair value gap? Because it stops right there sometimes. I used to wonder why price never dug back into here, and then you catch that too, and you're like, oh, it doesn't need to go lower. I meant higher, sorry. Doesn't need to reach into here. I'm sitting too close to the screens. We'll stab a short here. Let's see. Let me watch how this candle closes. I don't like this though. Let me wait, because you got equal highs here and no SMT. So we'll likely get SMT first, blow out some people, then take a trade. I'm waiting on a blowout move. I love the blowout moves because that literally takes everyone out that was, and then we get the real move, right? See, we've already closed back above the first presentation on ES. And that wait for SMT before every trade. It's not necessary, but it's higher probability. If I want a big move down here, yeah, I'll wait for, you know, an SMT to form up here and give me the best odds of getting in at a premium price to go lower. You still have to make note of this. And this. These two. Like, see, we get off of here, we're in the macro, and then we trade back above here. It can definitely go, it doesn't even have to come back lower. It could just keep going. You're looking for specific characteristics. Alright, so still waiting. Memorial Day weekend pump. Yeah, we'll pump on the weekend and then drop 3% lower when we come back on Monday. Oh, we got more people joined. Hopefully you're not bored yet, but yeah, this is the reality of trading. You need to understand. This is why you need to understand what you're looking at, because why are you entering in here? Unless you drop down to a 15-second chart, you cannot trade this. You're not going to. And I'm sorry, but you're not. Uh, 15-second chart there to this liquidity, these equal lows right here. interesting. Drop to a 15-second chart if you want. You're not getting a pump or a dump or anything with this. Sorry. It's true, and it sucks, but that's what happens here. That's what happens here. Look, you only get, look at this move. You only get that move off of something very specific, but it can come from other things. That's why I had this noted though. If price goes lower, it'll be used as an inversion. Guaranteed. I just can't take a trade yet. I just don't see anything that's high probability. And I hope you guys can respect that because it's true. I don't want to put on any risk on this. Just saw a tweet that says, knowing when not to is better than knowing when to. Trust me. Yeah. And now is not the time to. Let me close the stream down. I guarantee I'll get to push a button. So if you drop to a 15-second chart, you'll note equal lows right here, equal highs right there. Let me know if you see them. Kind of curious. Yeah, that's a better show of a good trader knowing when to trade. Yeah, that's what I think too. And it took a long time to get here because I sure enough would be trading this. You can, I mean, on it, you can drop to a 15-second chart and do this all day, but if you want a little bit more meat on the moves, you're gonna have to. And to be honest, I mean, this is 60-point range right here at least, so that's good enough for me in my opinion. But I'd like to see a little external to internal liquidity or something on the lines that offers a little bit more in terms of, you know, with you guys being here, because I can go in here and scout this most of the day. I don't want to though, it just takes up too much time. For me, it's better if I get my money and just go and be done. I can be done, and I'll practice to stay fresh. That's what I do. But if I was short here, my position probably would have got stopped out. If I was short here, would have got stopped out. Short here, would have got stopped out. That's why I say you gotta wait. And if we go take out sell side first, that may change the dynamics of what I'm thinking. So that's the reality. Let me put this on the chart so you can see it. Just simply these two ranges right here. Yeah, you're still waiting. That's all. I mean, that's all you can do. I mean, look at this. It's irritating, but it's irritating because I jumped on stream for this when I could have been at a more valuable time, I guess. Maybe pre-market session or something. I encourage you to ask questions during this time while you have it. Because right now you're just getting chopped. Maybe here we go. We might get some movement here. Let's see. Still here. Okay, could you speak a bit on manipulation macros? I hadn't heard them defined before. Yeah, so it's the essentially I've made note of the 830 or 850 to 910 macros. It's the macro before the regular time hour 4-hour candle. So essentially what I look for is attacking the opposing liquidity after that has been traded to. So liquidity's already been taken up here. Would you say the main three things we need to know to be... Yeah, I answered that earlier. All you need is liquidity, inefficiencies, and premium and discount. Because if you know exactly, it doesn't have to reach buy side. There are 2 or 3 things at most that you only need to look at, in my opinion. You can add the first presentation. Like, there's things you need to be aware of for entries and exits. Like if you want to get to the nitty gritty and you want to enter in a position, you probably want to enter off of something like a first presentation or, you know what I mean? Something like that. But that just depends on the kind of trader you are. How do you trade? If you trade a 15-second chart, it's going to be different than someone that trades on a 15 or a 1 minute chart, essentially, in terms of PD arrays. But yeah, I would say if your sole focus was on the liquidity and the discount and premium and knowing where you are relative to that and market structure, yeah, that's high probability. But back to the manipulation macros. Essentially, like I noted earlier, this 1250, this is before the 130 open, so this right here trades higher. So I always anticipate lower after 1330. But you can trade this macro. There's no reason not to trade the macro if you know where price is going. So it can go higher. Like you have like for me, I prefer some kind of liquidity here, something on the lines of that, or an inefficiency where I know that I can get a good discount entry to go higher on, right? So hey, sentiment markets, what's up? Or sorry, sentient. $21,090.5 long. Oh, 15 views. Hey, we're racking them up. I'm just kidding. I don't care about the reviews. I mean, I don't care about the amount of views or the amount of subscribers or the amount of that, because it's better if I get a bigger growing. I can't help people like I help them. That just doesn't make any sense to me logically. I don't want to be selling a indicator. All right, note the close above that. I meant below that. If I'm to trade to this sell side, I'll use this inversion right here. I think he was saying long to 21,090. I'm watching this right now because we're in the macro, so close above, reuse it. Yeah. So now we check, where's ES relative to that low? Watch this right here. I mean, we're still in this area. When you're in the range, it gets a little tricky. Trading in the range is a little harder, so you have to know what you're looking at. I'm aware that many others have probably seen the same thing in terms of let me try a short. Let's see. Tricky. I don't like being in the range. I'm gonna wait. Because how many times have you seen it stop low from there and then go up here? I mean, we've taken buy side, if you think about these equal highs, but oh boy. Immediate rebalance. See if that occurs. Strong. We'll pull the trigger on it. So either way, we're going to learn a lesson about trading in the range. I'm anticipating this to fall through here. I think patience has gotten to me a little bit. I wanted something a little sooner. Patience runs a little dry. The only thing I gotta watch for is SMT here. I don't want that to occur or we will go long. So I'll make note of that. I'm looking for it to fall through. Guys, I will take two losses max, and that's it. I've trained myself to do that. That is more than enough risk for me. Yeah, I mean, patience ran thin here, but I'm still looking at that. Yeah, close back above. Mistake on my part. Mistake. Trading in between ranges. These are things I have to make note of. Don't do it. Yeah, it's disgusting, but patience ran a little thin there. Trading in the range is deadly. I don't like it. That's a mistake. But notice how tight my stop is. You cannot, if you want to, it's okay to take a loss. There's nothing wrong with the loss, but you gotta understand that if you continue to hold past something, that's why my stops are so tight. If you continue to hold past specific things, I mean, you're gonna get blown out. I mean, your goal in trading is to not blow yourself out. I'm okay with the small stop like that, especially in this. I'm watching one candle, and if it goes back above, that's it. I like the displacement, but I was trading in between the range. I didn't wait for a blowout of the longs like I should have, and that's just the way it goes sometimes. Like I said, I'll do 2 max. Since I'm not in the Telegram, I still make note of these things here for review later. And it's something you need to make note of too. Point out your mistakes, call them out for what they are, and move on from it. The confirmation here would have been way better. Let's see, did ES take that low? No, ES still didn't take that low. So we're still yet between a range. So, I mean, that's reality. There's not much you can do there. Until price takes one of these things. I mean, does everybody understand that? Does everybody see the mistake? Trading in between? Because that's what I was talking about. Have you ever seen it come down here, hold it, then trade higher? That's exactly what occurred here. And that's just a human error on my mistake. And truthfully, if it does it any longer, that's it for me. Because it's 210 now. And I had not anticipated being on here this long. Wow. This is crazy. Some pressure to execute on stream, no worries. Yeah, I dealt with that when I did my first stream too. And then my second stream, I kind of just was myself, and I was just trading how I like to trade and not worry about, I'm aware that when I'm pushing the button in front of others, I have to make them aware that I am pushing the button in front of others, and you are liable for your own risk or your own losses or wins or whatever. I mean, but yeah, well, yeah, you're doing amazing. Well, thank you, but, still, trading in a range is a no-no. Clear mistake. I made note of that before it even happened, but I didn't wait. Patience ran thin. That's why I say you have to be patient. Back to a premium inefficiency. And it's liable to trade here again. I'd like to see one of these take buy side. let's put an alert here on ES. Question, yeah, ask. Is this paper account? Something I cannot disclose. Guys, a lot of you aren't aware that I used to work at a financial firm. So that's why I don't showcase accounts and things. I'm aware of the regulations and whatnot. I couldn't even have my own personal account when I worked for a firm. And then once I quit, I was able to get my personal account back because I had no interest in sending my statements to my broker dealer twice or 2 statements to him every month. So during that time, I traded prop firms. And that was the weirdest transition ever. So we're back into that premium inefficiency. Like I said, please read the disclaimer in the description, as long as I make you aware of that. Trading involves risk. I'll say it again. Yeah, I find it a lot harder to, there's a lot less to call in markets like this. I mean, you cannot do anything. I mean, yeah, I'm literally looking at the same things are on my charts for a reason. There's nothing more to look at. You can't call price in a range. I mean, it's very hard. Yeah, I made the mistake of trading in the range. So, learn from it. Hit the button again. Learn the lesson again. Wait, let me check for ES now. Oh, I have an alert there. So, I mean, look at all the chop in between the first presentation. I mean, that's why I didn't take a trade off of it. It's waiting for something. Golly, I have no interest in even looking at this. Here comes your real move. They're gonna stop out the goobers. I was a goober today. There. Make them think they're gonna go long and then sell the ship off. Look how that down close candle passes through the first presentation. Now what you want to see is you don't want to see it chop between it. You did get this one, but it didn't overlap through it. So watch how it overlaps through it. See all that engineered buy side and premium? Yeah. I'm still, I promise you, sticking with the same idea. If you watch Asia session, you'll see this a lot. It doesn't typically occur in the, I may take another short here. That's what makes you hesitant to push the button again. but that's more of a defined displacement through a PD array that I kind of watch. Let me see. Macro. Yeah, I see what you're referring to as the buy side, but it'd been nice if it hit that right there. This is very hard for me in terms of this. I can't do it. That's why I said earlier it's tricky. This right here is no trade. I can't believe I waited almost an hour to take a trade there. It's insane. Nah, they're gonna wait till the last hour. They may just do this for another 30 minutes. That's the worst patience until impulse comes at the worst time. That's what call it. Yeah, you're right. That's exactly what used to happen too. I've learned that if I just wait, 20, 30 minutes before another trade, things go the ship sails way smoother. Or just closing the chart and coming back like at another macro or two. Man, it really does change a lot of it. So yeah, that's the two. All right, so we're in this macro here now. Same inefficiency, traded back to. $15.20 is a macro, so 2:15 to essentially the last hour is a macro. Literally. Yeah, so the 2:15 to 2:45 is a macro. You have the last hour macro, and then you have the first and last 10 minutes. It's probably your. Let's see. Yeah, should have been a little more patient. You get hesitant to push the button, but I don't want to be hesitant, so I do want to wait just a tad bit longer. Now, like I told you, the 2:15 to 2:45 typically engineers liquidity for the last hour macro too, so you got to understand that. So if it's trading in a lower direction, that's probably going to be prime for lower prices. So I'm going to watch this here again, part 2. We got 38 seconds on the candle. Yeah, so you don't want a long in a premium, obviously, right? So where can we get discounted prices at? So, okay, they both took the low. Yeah, noting today, I mean, that was all the more reason to push the button there. Interesting. Don't play with me. It's a good lesson for me too. Don't worry, I study and I learn every day. Don't worry. Alright, I'm gonna take this off. Probably don't need it anymore as of now. Yeah, that was. Breakout traders going short. Yeah, that's true. I don't like to be a breakout trader. I would have preferred an entry up here. That's what makes me hesitant to push the button, because for me, I'd rather learn from my mistake rather than chase. Because I think a lot of people get the idea that chasing right now is more ideal, when in reality, we didn't take buy side first, right? So you have to understand that this is sell side, equal lows, and we can easily trade back to this buy side now. So, I mean, you're still in a macro, you need to understand that. $330 can run the first. Okay. So order block there. PM highs, yeah, exactly. What's that? Word block? Reclaimed. You gotta understand the idea that, man, but the the worst thing about this macro is that it's from my studies, it's typically like a continuation macro. So what it does is it blows out all the longs going short. So everyone that's long, it's like, okay, well, of course, more damage. What damage can be done? Max damage. So I'm watching that though, just in case. But that's just from my studies of how it operates, because I used to want to long something like this, and I'd get blown out because of the time. And if you understand the concept of where you are in time, it does really help you grasp the understanding of where it's going. So this is the up move, is the idea of, you know, it's simply manipulation. This to me is a good learning scenario, truly. Kind of looks like reaccumulation with manipulation to the downside. Yeah, sometimes I gotta stop reading the chat because that kind of is throwing me off a little bit because I'm hearing a lot of people doing a lot of things. I don't really pay attention to what other people say, but today has been the most where people are like, it's going here, it's going there. Is it going up or down, or tell me where it's going? Me, I have full intention of it going here first. Like, that's my idea. But I also understand that we took the sell side. No. It's nothing. It's nothing against you, Dylan. It's simply the idea of like, okay, well, one person calls it's going to 90. The other thinks it's going down. Someone says, this or that. So I just lost a little bit of focus. The price is going where it's going, whether you like it or not. The thing about me is I don't want to put on a lot of risk, and I want precise entries. That is what I aspire to be like. No, it's not you, sentient, either. It's everybody. But I don't have any background music or anything, so I try to commentate and help others and read the chat and actually answer it, ICT will go into streams and literally do the opposite of what people are calling. Kind of funny to me. Alright, watch that. Small. No, that's not even that. Never mind. Alright, we're now at 13:30, so watch this. If we had taken the buy side first, I would have looked for downside, but we have to be understanding that we didn't take the buy side first. Because if we go from liquidity A to liquidity B, that's how it operates, right? But be patient. Don't do like me. Yeah, I'm good with interacting. Alright, so you guys know the equal lows there in this fair value gap. So let's see what the midpoint of this wick holds. Just watching that. I'm going to be a buyer here. I'm going to attack the opposing end. They rail me out, they rail me out. I'd say today I pretty much experienced a little bit of impulse. I'm not taking more than 2 trades, by the way, but I've experienced a little bit of impulse today. I think I got a little antsy not taking a trade on stream earlier like I wanted to. And I'm Seems as if I'm going against exactly what I'm saying. Interesting. Yeah. Lots of notes for today's stream. I should be streaming Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday though. So I may stream pre-market, likely. I'm watching the midpoint of this wick right here. Now you bought, right? Can you please tell us how you feel in comparison of the short you took? Would you consider the sell side low equal low? Hang on, let me read these real quick so I can answer them. Would I consider this sell side liquidity equal lows below? Yeah, exactly. That's A to B is what. Had we had taken, man, there is a good chance that we could run for Memorial Day weekend here. Do not be surprised about that. So, this is low-hanging fruit. But essentially, my thoughts in terms of how I feel in comparison of the short, well, I just trade real data as it's provided to me. So, as it's presented, that's what I trade off of on the basis of time and price. There are specific things that say you should short, and there are specific things that say you should not short. I took a short off an inefficiency, by the way. So an inefficiency at price, and an inefficiency in price with a fair value gap below it. But the mistake I made was I traded in the range, right? Who's feeling bad to the bone? Where's that song at? So the only reason I'm long now is because I'm trading simply this range that we're in. And I'm looking for A to B. But I mean, even if this doesn't pan out, I mean, today was reading all this. This is way more interaction than I've experienced in the other streams. So like this morning, I guess people were asleep. I don't know. But price goes above 1 before then high is likely. Yeah. I'm looking for low-hanging fruit objective, which is simply from A to B, the range that we were in. I don't need it to go all the way up there. I can watch it go there if it does. But, and this is only based off the idea that we've taken sell side first. And staying open. Today has been very interesting. I wanted to load another contract in there. May I ask why you changed the idea of shorting? Yeah, because we took out sell side first. If we had taken buy side, I would have shorted all the way to the lows, but because we didn't take out, because we engineered highs here, there's no need for me to go short any further, especially when it had no willingness to go lower from here. at this time. We'll move the stop up accordingly. I mean, it's gonna, at 250, something's gonna happen. Big something, obviously. So if we can secure this before 250 open, sorry, 350 open, and I have a little bit of extra to trade with, I'll put on some risk probably for the last hour trade. As ICT says, you got to build a little buffer, you know. So this wick is what I was watching. It didn't reach the midpoint. That's why that's why the stop has moved up. It didn't go lower than that. I'm going to see what happens when we get here to this first presentation. I'd like it to just shoot above it, come below. But if this hits, this should clear up the loss plus some. Watching that. Just look on the opposing. See, if you drop to a 15-second chart, you can look at that wick more in depth. That's why I point out a lot of these wicks. I know a lot of people ask about the wicks, but that's what I'm looking at, is the fair value gap that's there on a smaller time frame. So what you don't want to see is more engineered liquidity here. It's either going to shoot up here and then at 350 it's going to continue to rock higher, or it's going to be a big slam down, right? So as of now, we're just watching. It's fast. It's fast paced. This market right now is fast paced compared to what it was a few days ago. Obviously, right? Like the price swings are a lot more. I mean, we're getting in terms of where my position is, a 60-point exit move. When in comparison earlier this week, it would have been about 30 or so. Before it will not move down, in my opinion, before it hits 90. Yeah, that's sell side's been taken. It doesn't need to go lower. It can go ahead and go higher, but in terms of 350, that's what I'm watching. A big move up. That's going to blow all of the shorts out and get all this engineered buy side ready. Now, a lot of people don't really understand how hard it is to call entries and exits. I don't take entries and have 500-point stop losses, right? Like, I'm not swing trading, so this is a lot different than swing trading, and you need to understand that. I aspire to be like ICT, where I can go in here, get my piece of the move, and be gone, right? Or like ICT student. If you're a swing trader, by all means, you can swing trade. But you got to scale up to a higher time frame, and your entry needs to be on a higher time frame. My entries are on a lower time frame for a reason. So right now the loss is covered, but I don't want it to engineer any liquidity here, so I don't want it to move lower. I need it to get back above. It's 245 is fixing to end, so you got an order block right there. When would you move the trade? I'm looking for it to get above this high first. So that high. But if I see it come back down, I'm not letting it go back to my, like, that makes no sense to let your stop loss be hit after it's trading higher. That, like, ideally it should just continue higher above this high. It needs to get above this first. You're looking at things that are there right in front of you, right? But for me, I don't want to see this position come back. And if it does, I've managed my stop loss a little better than where it was, but truthfully, it needs to go a little bit higher. If it traded down, when would you close if it invalidated? Oh, that's good. So right now I'm just watching that inversion across there as it rejected it originally at first. Now I'm break even plus one runner. Yeah. So I should have added another here, and I could have taken one off here. But this is what I'm watching. Held the midpoint of that. The wicks are doing the damage. Wicks are doing the damage. Close below that would invalidate where I'm at right now. It should get there. You gotta give. I used to move my stop up a little too soon. I've tried to manage that a little better, but of course my exits are the hardest thing. Entries to me are a lot easier than the exit points. I don't have a. I used to have an ego, wanted to be macho man and say, you know what, it can go to my stop loss or take profit. Well, I've changed the way I think about that, because I can mitigate my loss right now and still have another opportunity to trade again, right? If I have 2 losses total. But with the idea that I'm watching this, I don't want it to come back here, but if it gets back above this high, I will move it again. I'll move it to break even. So, yeah. But I'm telling you right now, in the next 5 minutes, you better be prepared, because I have no interest in being on that side. And if it closes below that, I'm going to put it at break even. Honestly, today, with it being a Memorial Day weekend, I have no interest in being on that side of the trade. It's got 10 seconds to close. Yeah, we'll wait. You got to understand these things. Yeah. I don't understand why you would purposely go lose money if it's disrespecting the things you're watching, right? It doesn't make any sense to me. Never will. I like the idea that this did not reach the midpoint. So hence the long. That's what I was watching. That's why I entered there. In terms of my entry. If you take a look at my trades though, my trades came from this range. When I look at this, when I will look back at this, I'll say, why would I trade in here? Why? You know? I told you guys I'd push the button. I have no issues pushing the button. No issues at all. That's not the problem. I think when I do get on stream, I feel like I need to push a button for some people, because I lose people watching in a sense. So I also try to take that into consideration, because I don't want to be that guy that just posts entries and exits. I'd like to live stream. I love the idea of live streaming a trade, but I made the mistake of trading this. And this was not good. we'll see what the last macro offers. It'll be my last trade. Go big or go home, right? But as of now, it's just choppiness into a Memorial Day weekend. So, but I expect fireworks in a few minutes. Nothing you can do about this action, and you manage position well. Yeah. I take pride in managing the position because look, it would have went into my stop loss as of now. Well, if it drops into that lower quadrant, and manage it. It is not a big deal to have a break-even trade. Who cares? And even if I take a loss, who cares? Because 9 times out of 10, or sorry, I'm not going to say I have a 90% win rate, but you know, at least 7 or 8 out of 10 times, I'm going to take a trade based off the logic that I use every single day. So once again, trading in between liquidity points. I'm going to watch this sell side. So we'll see what happens here. Dead G, I got asked that question a few days ago, and I could not answer that because it's not something that's not a data point I kind of keep up with because I'm not sure. I mean, a lot of people's risk management and wins. I mean, what do you consider a win? Like for me, I like to consider a win 12.5 points or more. That's $250 or more, right, on NASDAQ. So still respecting that wick, but last hour. I would say something with that question you asked, something I plan to do here in the near future is show you the importance of low-hanging fruit objectives. Hang on. I'm watching those two together. We'll touch base after. I got 9 minutes till the market closes. So that's your turtle soup long. Trade yes. See, that would have been. You look for turtle soup. SMT would have been nice there. See, I personally do not like seeing this many arrows on my chart. Give me one and done, right? Like, that's just too much. To me, especially back to back, like these need to be spread out if anything, but we're here to push the button. Careful because they can engineer liquidity for Monday. Can definitely go down here. I cannot. I mean, just sitting here looking at this is kind of irritating that I traded this. Huh. Live and learn. Live and learn. Look at, I mean, the first presentation for here wasn't even worthy of anything. Watching these equal lows down here on ES2. Just keep them on your chart. Yeah, PM consolidation before long. Yeah, basically. I should have considered that before trading today. I thought we would have had some good movement with that price action there. I thought it might have been okay. Yeah, exactly. I looked at AM session, and after the 9:30 move, it was game over from there. These are good days to trade because you learn a lot from them. So don't take today as like a, if you watched it, I mean, maybe you spent some mental capital on it, but still, it's something to learn. You need to learn. Because a lot of times, in these conditions, you can learn when not to trade. And that's a lot better than, I'm going to watch right here, by the way. Let's see here. Watch this. So 5 minutes left, by the way. That's important. All that buy side right there. We got 4 minutes on the clock. Let's try one more long. Let me see. Got to get back above this wick. Let me move that out of the way. I'm gonna watch that. Because it can drop right back in here and go higher. Let's try it. So if this gets taken, this will be the second loss. We got 3 minutes left. 3 minutes. What a day. Wow. This has been kind of exciting. Get to learn a lot. Truly. Alright, so needs to close back above this. Think of the lower time frame. Yeah. All I had to do was wait for the last hour macro. Of course it's like that. Golly. See how it starts to respect that midpoint there? That's what I like. Oh, dirty, dirty dogs. Dirty, dirty dogs. It's your order block. So if it goes below that, that's why my stop is there. If it takes that out, you don't want to see it come back below that midpoint or close below for sure. So that's gonna be a stop out. Should be. We're hanging in there by a thread, fellas. Yeah, that's a wick through. So that's it. That should be stopped out. It's not going to, yeah. That is what you call a... That's it. That's it for me. Well, guys, I've enjoyed it. 2 losses today. Time for review. No crying in the casino. I'll talk with you guys later.